Hello, YouTube. So I'm going to talk about a news article that just came out. This is breaking news. And the article is saying that YouTubers are putting out dirty laundry of the city. They are calling the city basically the worst city in America. So we are here live with Mina and Patricia, and we are going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the San Antonio Express News putting out this article of us calling San Antonio the worst city in America. I mean, there's like clickbait, there's clickworthy, there's kind of clicky, but I think this is on a whole nother level.
No way.
Yeah. So we're going to just talk about San Antonio, everything around San Antonio, what this article is saying. And I really just want to talk about it because it's pretty insane. So this article just came out. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see it. Give me 1 second. And why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Mina, you can go first.
Okay. I'm Mina Slaughter. Work at eXp Realty. I'm a YouTuber. I got called out today being in this article. No one called me to interview me or ask me questions or sent me any emails. So yeah.
Yes. So here's the article. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. And here we go. So for those of you just joining, real estate agents on YouTube call San Antonio the worst city in the U.S. I mean, that title is just really, really clicky. Apparently, we called San Antonio worst city in the U.S. Guys, did you call San Antonio the worst city in the U.S.?
I mean, not really, but I mean, you kind of have to like throw something out there, right, to get people to like watch the videos. It's kind of clickbait, clicky, whatever. But I mean, the article wasn't like too bad after reading through it. I feel like it's just going to give everyone like more exposure, and like that's just what it is. So
yeah, so let's talk about this. I mean, people that are watching here, I'm sure looking at San Antonio, they're watching the news, they're watching our YouTube channels, and they're thinking, like, how does this affect me? Like, where can I get my information? So if you read the article, it says, in a recent YouTube video, Trey Serrano, that's me, before a green screen of a brick house and a blue door. Wow, imagine that. I'm in a green screen with a blue door. Behind them, police tape stretched across the entire screen. Like, how dare I put myself in a green screen? And then this code is apparently me. Everybody talks about how great San Antonio is. Even I talk about it, said Serrano, a former paramedic police officer in San Antonio who now leads the Cover Real Estate Group. Over 15,000 views on just this video. And here is my favorite. I guess this is where they got that San Antonio is the worst city in the U.S. But you need to know the worst. Now, anybody watching this, just let me know if you like good information, if you like kind of good information, or you just want to know the worst. You want to know the worst areas. You want to know the worst schools. And it's like on our channels, we talk about what people are saying. So because of fair housing laws, I can't just say this area sucks, this area sucks. You need to move here, you need to move there. So all we're doing is taking information that the public puts out, that people are talking about, and then we're just sharing it to the people that are watching us. And I always say it's like we're talking to people that we're working with or the families that are moving here. So, yeah. And then the article, I just got to talk about it because it's just mind blowing. The real estate agents on YouTube have called San Antonio the worst city in the U.S. So let's see. Churning out content that speaks perils of living in San Antonio, real estate agents on YouTube have recently uploaded 10 reasons not to move here in San Antonio. Do you guys have a video like this?
I do.
I think I do, or something similar to that for sure.
Mine's top 10 reasons why not to move to San Antonio, because
same.
We're obviously not going to just talk about, let's be fake and tell you all the pros when you know that every city there's a negative. So why be afraid to talk about it, give people the truth?
Exactly right. I mean, not every city, not San Antonio is not for everybody. And I mean, it's like for years, I know in the article later, they talk about, I didn't know anything about San Antonio before I moved here. This is 12 years ago. So YouTubers weren't really a thing for real estate agents. So when I Googled it, it was just like, hey, look how pretty the Riverwalk is. Look how pretty the Missions are. But there was no information on where to live, what areas are known for what are the ratings for the schools, what's coming to the area. So where should I buy a home or should I rent? So there were so many different things. And Joe said, how about the daily shootings in SA? Joe, you should probably go to San Antonio Express News article that just posted this, and please write that comment. That would be awesome, Joe. I would appreciate it.
And you can go to the sanantonio.gov website, and I pull all my statistics from factual, like the census from the San Antonio Police Department itself. So they're the ones giving us these statistics that we're truly reporting. I'm not reporting fake numbers in these things. I'm reporting stuff from their website. So,
100%.
Yeah.
So let's see. So then we do videos, and if you're watching this, you want to check out their channels. I mean, Patricia has an awesome channel and actually says reasons you shouldn't move here,
Right.
and Mina has some good information out there on her channel. We are all basically, we're educating people. We're showing them what's going on, because if you Google something from, let's say, California, then you're not going to see what we see here as locals, just because of geography and Google, what they, I guess the news feed that comes out. So it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're coming here from New York, if you're coming here from Florida, or if you're coming here from California, that's 3 different directions.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, we've all worked with people, I think, with our YouTube channels. We work with a lot of people from out of state. And I know from like my own experience, I have people that have come from California more than any other place. And they're like, hey, like the crime, the traffic, whatever is nothing compared to what we're used to. So I'm like, why are you dogging us? Like, seriously, like, why are we getting like called out on all these things right now? So
exactly. It's like people who live and grew up in San Antonio, some of them don't have other cities to compare it to. I grew up in New York and moved here 12 years ago. So I know what traffic is and all this. And it's like when other San Antonioans talk about the traffic, it's like we're just talking about what they're saying. So I love this part in the article. Real estate agents and other content creators on YouTube provide snarky. Did you guys are you guys snarky? And in the Alamo City neighborhoods, offering a true view of what it's like to live here. Can you imagine giving somebody who's literally moving their entire life to a different city? Imagine giving them a true view of what it's like to live here. How dare you guys? How dare you?
Mind you, we're always providing client feedback, and people that come in here, they always tell me, what they think about this place. And I've had clients that buy a house and 6 months later go back to the state they came from. So, there's a lot of different array of opinions, but to say these aren't factual would be lies, because these are actual reported opinions from people. I mean, there's literally people, when you go through neighborhoods, and one of the neighborhoods I lived in personally, which is an Alamo Ranch, every single neighbor in the little tiny cul-de-sac, everyone just didn't want to be looked at. The lady would call HOA if I would leave something outside. Because
and I'm like the neighbor that's like, hi, how are you?
It's just kind of like.
So yeah, Mina, this is where the article called you out. Some YouTube channels also provide a bizarre view of the country's 7th largest city. Mina, that's you. An agent with EXP warned prospective homebuyers of San Antonio's reputation for friendliness in a video posted in October. How dare you speak about your experience?
I mean, it happened. This really happened. So, I can't say it's not true, because those things do happen. And
it doesn't sound like an
anonymity, and they like privacy, and not everybody's coming to Texas to be friendly. And yippee-ki-yay, it's not like that. We're not riding around on horseback with drawn hair.
I was literally about to say that, like, so we're not all riding horses here.
Yeah, when I moved here to San Antonio 12 years ago, I really thought that there were still horse buggies and, like, I don't know, you guys had like crossing guards instead of streetlights because there was no information out there. So when we talk about San Antonio, like you talked about Alamo Ranch and your experience living in Alamo Ranch section, and it's like, man, that's going to give somebody some value. That's going to give somebody some insight on what it's like to live in San Antonio. And if anybody watching this has a question, drop it. We're talking to everybody.
Yeah.
So let's see. So then the news article said YouTube is this second largest search engine for real estate agents, and told the Express News they're using it for marketing to prospective home buyers looking to learn more about San Antonio. And what they don't talk about in this section is how many people watch our videos, get some value, and say, you know what?
Yep.
I don't want to live in San Antonio. I don't want to, do the under what is it near the Riverwalk. They see the river. I don't want to live here. And how many people watched your videos and probably decided, nah, I'm going to move to Florida?
I mean, it's not even just Florida, but it can be different parts of, like, it can be Houston or Austin. Like I've had quite a few clients that are like torn between Houston and San Antonio, and then they see both cities and then they're like, no, it's either I'm going to stay in San Antonio or I'm going to just go ahead and move to Houston. So yeah, I mean, it happens, I think, more often than people realize it happens.
Yep. They live under a rock. Absolutely. Totally. Thank you, Joe. They live under a rock. So it's one of the biggest, and Michael actually invited to this channel, but he wasn't available, or to this live stream. But it's one of the biggest sources for helping people. And it's exactly right. We may deter people from moving, but honestly, the statistics, everything we pull from U-Haul, from the Census bureaus, from all these companies that are getting analytics, we're just showing people, like, even though we're saying that, hey, you might not like this side, you might not like this side, these are the employers that are here, the potential job growth, that it may have the adverse effect.
Yeah.
And then it's obviously when Serrano moved here.
I don't know, Serrano. They keep quoting you.
I know, right? Moved here 10 years ago. He didn't know anything about the city.
They probably only got a hold of you, didn't they?
They actually did. I'll pull up the email, and I know Tim from San Antonio Express is going to be pissed. I'm calling him out, but I don't care. I do not. So yeah, I moved here 13 years ago or 10 years ago, whatever it is. What does he say? 10, but it's actually 13. Way to stir up your facts, Tim.
Right.
So I didn't know anything. And honestly, that's what fuels me to make more videos, is to educate. I mean, like, yeah, we can do open houses. We can, do the mailers and do the traditional things, but we're all like-minded here on this live stream, and we want to educate people.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we have Angel, and she says, crime is pretty ridiculous. Petty crime. So tell me, what petty crime are you seeing, and what side of San Antonio? Let me know, Angel. And she said, on the upswing, y'all think Elon will move into rack space location and move Twitter? Yes, I know you meant Twitter. But so let me talk about Elon, because Elon is like a study figure for me lately. So Elon has a gigafactory in Austin. Elon has basically had the $1 billion building here in Austin, and now he has a secondary facility here in San Antonio. And the secondary facility is in Foster and I-10. So let me show you where Foster and I-10 is for people watching. And it's basically 440,000 square feet. That's bringing about 5,000 new jobs to San Antonio. It's like, and he has a space in the airport, and it's all for his companies. So I think he is potentially going to move in rack space, but it's not public information. I don't know if it's going to happen. Angel says the petty crime that she's seeing is theft. Yep. Yep. I definitely see that.
Yeah.
We got, yeah.
Water.
Yep. I moved here in August on the 24th. My car was stolen. The police recovered it 2 days later. Shout out to them. Hell yeah, that used to be me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Clients, I put them in a brand new build, up 281, and both their vehicles after they moved in got stolen out of their driveway while they slept at night.
Wow.
They told me,
Wow.
"Oh, no, we've only been here 2 weeks." So I was like, I am so sorry. Jeez.
Wow. So yeah, I actually had a client recently in the northeast side, and her ACs were stolen. This was stolen. The doors were stolen. So a whole bunch of stuff was stolen, and yeah, it would delay the process and all that. But
you said northeast side.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's pretty common on that side of town for sure.
Yeah, and then let's see. MA says northeast side of San Antonio. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Rackspace was built for IT. He said east side undisclosed. For Twitter, that would be incredible. Can you imagine if Twitter came to San Antonio?
Yeah, that'd be wild.
You have Elon moving to Texas, right? You have the Toyota factory, you have the Gigafactory, and you have the storage facility for Tesla, which is on Foster and I-10. And yeah. And then Joe said, "What's Rackspace?" You guys want to fill them in while I pull up the map?
It's an IT company. I mean, it's all cloud based. It's similar to Apple or iCloud kind of thing. So pretty much it, right? Like, am I missing anything? It's all cloud based business.
Right. And Rackspace is that it's like storage and IT things, but it's on the northeast side of San Antonio, and the northeast side is where like 35 and 410 is.
Yeah.
And let's see. I remember the tire stealing phase, dealerships and everything. Yeah. Elon's moving everything else here.
Yep.
Why not just take that? MA says, yeah, you're right. I agree. I don't know what you're saying, but
yeah, you're right.
Yes, you're right. Totally agree. So guys, talk to me about what you're seeing lately that's been going on in the San Antonio housing.
Yeah. So just from recent experience, we're seeing houses sit on the market longer, but the options that are there, clients are just like not ready to act on the house right away, unless there's a lot of bells and whistles and they're looking for a lower price point, because the rates were up higher. But now that they're offering like the 3-2-1 buy downs, and I do a lot of new home construction, so that helps out with the home buyers that are moving in, especially military that are looking for new builds. But lower price points, not getting listing price.
Yeah. I had a listing recently, or like maybe about a month or so ago. We listed at a certain price, and it was one of those moments where I had to like daily like check the market. Like it was just changing so drastically, so fast. And it went from like being on the market for 2 days, or 2 weeks. We had 2 showings, and I was like, hey, I have to have this hard conversation because we need to have it. The market is shifting so quickly. We have to do a price decrease. And I think we did a price deduction of like $60,000, and within 24 hours we had a full offer. But it was just so wild how we had to like be so on top of like the trends and what's happening, and the builders are offering these incentives. How are we going to stay competitive? Like, so it was a lot. Like, it's a lot that we all have to kind of shift and move with when the market is shifting as quickly as it is.
Yes. And most of Texas, I'll just speak for Texas because I don't really know any other state. Texas is seeing price drops just because the world was shook by these 7% interest rates. So most of us here have seen price drops. Compared to other cities, the price drops weren't as drastic. So some of my videos, I talk about how, like, you have, I'll just pick San Diego, for example, had huge price drops. But because San Antonio is such a diverse, and the median household income is around $52,000 a year, it doesn't have big fluctuations. So, and in my previous videos, I do have some graphs to show, but essentially that's the sum of it. So I'll just show you, because we're talking about Elon. I think his factory is either Cedar Creek or no, maybe not.
Yeah, I drove back
something.
so I was up in Georgetown, and you know how we have, I guess it's like the toll road from like Georgetown, Round Rock area. I had never seen it, and I was driving past it. I was like, oh my God, like, what is this? Is this the whole? It was wild. I mean, it's right on. Yeah, it's right on that toll road from Austin to Seguin.
Right. So you have this whole thing here. You have the Gigafactory around here somewhere. And because I try to disassociate myself with Austin. No offense, Jeremy Knight of the Austin team over there. So the Gigafactory is here. And then you have over here in our little San Antonio, where you have the factory, which is San Antonio's largest renter. Elon is paying, I think it's like $5 million in rent a year to be right here. I'm going to zoom in and show you the exact area that Tesla rented from the city of San Antonio. I think it was a 5 or 7 year lease, but it's right here on Foster and 10 by the TA Travel Center. This is where the plants facility for the Gigafactory in Austin is going to be. Now, what's interesting is you have this over here, Foster and 10. Then he also bought a showroom right by the airport, and he's pitching to the city all his plans for the super train to go from San Antonio to Austin.
Yep.
So what do you think this is going to do to values around San Antonio? That's the big question.
Man, I mean, I would like to say it's going to maybe like drive prices up a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I would imagine it's just kind of like when they went to Austin, it kind of just like blew up, but it was also during the time that like the rates were lower and it was just like crazy. So it's going to be interesting to see like how all this affects the housing market here.
Yeah, and in the San Antonio Northeast side, which is very close to this 5,000 job potential development that Tesla has, right where I lost it, right here, right there. You have Kirby, which is right next door to it. Those homes were built, what, guys, in like the 70s-ish, 80s. Those are older homes. Median house price is like, I don't know, 200,000, 220.
Yeah.
Then you have Converse, and you have the Randolph Air Force Base right here. And you got all these pockets that could be developed that is now part of this, we'll call it the Giga Corridor. Right?
Sure.
Giga Corridor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Joe says, can we talk about the infrastructure? When are construction projects coming, and when will the southeast side grow? Ooh, that's a great bomb, Joe. Thanks for that. That's a good one. So I would say it's all going to bleed over because you have the, where these factories are coming. You also have Toyota, which is on the south side of San Antonio, right here. Just for perspective, the Alamo's right here, Riverwalk's right here, south side is right here. How much do you think a house in the south side is, guys?
New home build or pre-owned?
All right, so let's go new home on the southeast side. What do you think, approximately?
Like 225, 250.
Yeah, I had a client close at 222.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So 220 to 250 on average. Yeah. Maybe the nice ones with the bigger lots, 300.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think a pre-owned home is on the south side by Texas A&M and the Missions and Brook City Base? What do you think a pre-existing home?
I mean, does it have land or no land? I'm kidding. I'm getting technical or not technical. No, maybe about 180, 200, between 180 and 200.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it. So hold on. Oh man, I'm getting some weird comments here. Oh man. Find love on this new dating site. Do not do that.
No, absolutely not. Don't do it.
Yeah.
That's clickbait.
Yeah. Oh my God. So MA, it will not happen. Tell us what you mean by it will not happen. And then General said, have a good day, y'all. You too. You be safe out there.
Yeah, have a good
Hell
day.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. So Angel said the plan to refill the creeks, bring nature back. Ace screwed the pooch on flood control back in the day. So I don't know who Ace is, but please let us know, Angel, who Ace is. So that brings up a good point, is they wanted to develop the super train that's going to mess with San Antonio's water. So the Edwards Aquifer runs through basically the middle of downtown, and also there's reservoirs around San Antonio, but because we're just a dry city, it's potential that's why they don't want to do a lot of infrastructure growth, is because they don't want to mess with the water supply. And so what is the percentage decrease you guys has had so far? So for prices, what do you guys think in price drops we've had? Percentages.
I've seen 10, 25%, depending on where we're at in town.
Yeah, if you go month over month, Danny, then I would say the last 3 months, we've seen about a 15%. If you look at the last 6 months, I'd say it's close to about 20%. Yeah. And then Danny says in LA County, they've seen 5 to 7%. That's interesting, because I would think it's more. Yeah. It's more of a price drop, in LA, because just the prices are just so varied in LA. Southwest. Okay. And it's growing. Lavernia, China Grove will be swallowed in 10 years. Do you know how upset people that moved out to those suburbs, right?
Yep.
To Lavernia.
Too. I mean, all those areas, the development is, even Castroville, like, that's wild to see all the development. I'm from Del Rio, so it's like going back home to Del Rio, it's like 90, 1604, that to see all the development. I mean, from growing up and coming to visit San Antonio on the weekends, whatever, to see like so many developers. I've seen so many apartment complexes. I'm like, this is wild. So yeah, Floresville, all those areas, Lavernia, China Grove, all of that is just going to be like insane for sure.
Going towards Lytle too. You've got Roush Coleman made its way into Lytle. So, I mean, it's going that way too. So,
it's so what we're talking
everywhere.
So this is Lavernia here. And Lavernia is a very, very popular suburb. And it's funny, the comments blow up. They're like, it's not a suburb, Trey, shut up. But it is. Like, it's like people live there and they work in San Antonio. So sorry, I'm not sorry. Yeah. And then you guys also mentioned Castroville. So this is Castroville.
Wild.
Castroville's, it's like, this is what Castroville was. It was like this little.
So here's kind of like, so I lived in Elmo Ranch, right, for a couple years. And when I would go back home for a weekend, I was able to take like the back roads, the farm to market roads from Alamo Ranch, and it would spit me out in Hondo. Mm-hmm. I completely was able to avoid all of the like 151, all the traffic, like all the nonsense. And it's so wild to see, like, if y'all, I'm sure y'all have been back there, like to Alamo Ranch, it's just like nonstop, like the development, 211, like that whole area is like, it's wild to see like what is happening there. Like eventually Castro is going to get swallowed up by Bexar County, just saying.
Yep, absolutely. Let's catch up with these comments. New build 285. I reported it. Yes, good job. Thank you for that. Underground transportation. Gotcha. And Toyota St. Hedwig is filling with new builds. Yep. St. Hedwig.
It's beautiful though. It's really nice out there.
If you're watching this video, you want like a really, really good insider information, go to St. Hedwig. Yep. Go to a model home and pick a damn home and buy it with one of us, hopefully. Or whoever, whatever realtor you want. It don't matter. But just pick somebody to go with you to go to St. Hedwig because go ahead.
Mina and I are like, new builds.
I'm like, I actually just closed something out in St. Hedwig. So.
Yeah, I mean, and it was kind of like my spot. So it was like last year, it was kind of like, the 300s were typically going to be in Converse. We really couldn't find anything in the other suburbs for 300. So I sold a lot of homes in St. Hedwig last year. And I actually have a client, Chelsea, like shout out to Chelsea, but she, single, whatever. And she's like, I want to be like in the hill country. I want to be like out in the sticks. And I'm like, baby, you got cows across the street. Like, what more do you want?
Yeah. So yeah, St. Hedwig is definitely a suburb that the locals, like the ranchers and people with 20, 50, 100 acres. Also, Joe said RC homes suck. Joe, please tell us why you think they suck. I love hearing why builders suck. Please tell me. Very, very curious to know. I like you says, I work in China Grove. Nothing out there but cows.
Yep.
So we're going to check China Grove next and talk about that suburb. I'm not a fan too much of China Grove. I just don't think there's a lot of amenities there.
There's not. I used to live in Floresville for a really long time. So commuting through all of this before any type of expansion ever came, really. I mean, you had to drive into South San Antonio and to go to HEB off of Goliad before Floresville actually built an HEB. So you'd go to China Grove, right? Or the outlying cities to try to find, restaurants to go to, or if you wanted to go shopping at some boutique place, you'd have to go to like a downtown St. Hedwig or downtown Floresville, to shop. But there's no amenities out there. You're living in the sticks, commuting.
Right now, there's nothing out there. Give it like 10, 13, I don't know, 10 to 15 years. It'll be, I think, completely different in all those areas for sure.
Now, if you guys look at the gray, I mean, I don't know how Google Maps is 100% set up, but I would say the gray areas are the most dense, people who live there, houses, restaurants or whatever, stores. This is all getting very dense, right? So there's gray areas. St. Hedwig, obviously, I wrote St. Hedwig because to show you guys. But look at Lavernia. Lavernia has a little bit of a denser population because it was I say was because now it's going to get busier. It was a suburb that had this little downtown, and then all the ranchers lived out here.
Yep.
But what I don't love about China Grove, and let me know in the comments if you agree, but it's like so close to San Antonio, which is right here, that it doesn't really have a suburb feel.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's really close. It's almost like a couple of, I know the back roads and stuff, but I just think might as well be a part of San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me.
Feels like the area when you're going like to Poteet, how like all the houses are kind of scattered and there's some land.
Yep. So more Beta Prince. My wife and I are coming to visit in April, coming from San Diego. What part of San Diego? I have a good buddy that's a realtor there. I definitely want to recommend him. We were looking to check out places to rent and work. I'm a machinist. My wife is a dental assistant. Any place suggestions? Man, we got a lot of suggestions. We have so much. There's a lot to talk about around where you could live.
Right.
So manufacturing jobs, and let me know if you guys agree, they're mainly on the east, northeast, and southeast part of San Antonio.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to find most of your manufacturing jobs. There's big companies, Caterpillar's out there. I can't think of any other big manufacturing, but there's private entities that are out there.
Boeing's like more south, right? So Boeing's out there, Standard Aero, anything avionics or aircraft, whatever, that you're going to be a little bit further south of San Antonio for sure.
Yeah, and there's San Antonio South Side, and it's I think the vibe in the South Side is just very laid back. Yeah, nobody's really rushing to get anywhere, and it's awesome.
So I actually went out yesterday to like a listing appointment on the South Side, and it reminded me a lot of home. So it was like everyone was just so, like you said, like very laid back. No one's rushing. It was so nostalgic, I think, for me, like to go to that part of town.
For sure. And instead, I need to revisit working for a builder. I was pipelining inspector until the virus. Oh, the virus. And let's see. Oh, this is what Joe said, that RC homes suck. Let's hear it. This is what he said, not me. I viewed a few RC homes and didn't like the interior finishings. I also disliked the fact that you won't get a front porch or patio unless you pay upwards of $325. What areas do they build? I want to know. I want to investigate this a little further. Let me know where RC homes. I think they build in.
Yeah, they're on the northeast side. They have them in Converse shirts.
Yeah. New Braunfels. They have a couple of New Braunfels. Yeah. You're right. It's like more northeast.
Okay, so RC homes. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's not shirts, but it's Marion, right? I think so.
I haven't seen
Artsy
much
home.
in Marion. Rush Coleman.
Yeah.
Okay. So RC is Rush Coleman, right?
Yep.
I'm sure we got that right.
Rush
Okay.
Coleman.
So yeah, they're building out here in this is Converse, and then St. Hedwig. They have some places here. 325 is a lot. I mean, pre-existing homes in those areas are not 325. So maybe need somebody else to represent you. Let's see.
Cool, either one of us.
Currently making engine parts. Good to know. Yes. Awesome, man. I'm glad that helped. And let's see. Then you will love SA. So much military and politics are split about 50-50. It's a great city. We never want to leave it.
Yes.
Brant C. Yes. Thank you for dropping. I remember reading your comments. I appreciate you giving us some love. And yes, I mean, it's funny because when the reporter called out and called me on the phone, I'm going to put up this article for anybody that's just joining. You know me, I'm all about stirring the pot. But this
I wish they had called me because I would have said some stuff.
Oh yeah, it was wonderful. When he called me, he was so snippy and snarty.
Really?
I was like, oh yeah, worst. We're the worst. We called San Antonio the worst. But what I did quote is I said that San Antonio is the greatest city in America. That's literally what I told him on the phone. And of course, he didn't write that in the article. I also said that it's a city full of pride and the most diverse economy that I've ever seen. So yeah, he didn't put that. Oh well. Let's see.
We said a lot of great things too. You know, they just wanted to highlight the negative part of our videos. That's all. Absolutely. You could possibly place near one of the air bases since all the contractors people need you. Yes. Yep. And hello from Del Rio. Welcome, Del Rio. Awesome. Hi, Brand. Did I say that right? I think so. Okay. That seems to be every builder. Bigger patios, more concrete, more cost. RC has some in Somerset, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, bahaha, that article. Yes, this wonderful article. So I definitely recommend you guys checking out the article because we're in it and I don't know. I guess they're getting desperate. They can't talk about the virus. They can't talk about things crashing anymore. So they're just like, we're just going to pick on Trey. We're going to pick on
realtors
on Mina and Patricia. We're going to pick on all the YouTubers because they're just like the little ants that you can just step on, I guess. Yeah. So that's interesting. Builders, I feel like, are pivoting to now providing better service, hopefully. And they're definitely price dropping and giving way, way more incentives.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Go ahead.
I heard this story the other day. I mean, I don't know how true it is, right? It's from another builder rep or sales counselor from another builder that, and again, I won't name who did what, but apparently a client was going to cancel the contract and the builder said, you owe $20,000 on your vehicle. We're going to pay your note off and still give you the $15,000 in incentives.
Wow.
I don't know how true this is, but I was like, wait, I'm like, can you pay my note off? I'm taking you the client.
Wow. So a builder paid off a car note so they can buy the house. Yeah. Especially this end of the year, all the end of the year stuff. They're just really, really wanting to get rid of their inventory. Because in order for them to build more and to get more loans from different financial institutions, they have to have it under contract. Somebody spilled the beans to me and didn't realize that I would talk about it on my YouTube channel. So that's funny.
I'm like, so if you want a car paid off, just give me a call.
Yes. Hector, Hector says, I'm definitely going to need a real estate in the first week of January. I'm leaving California. Can we just all clap for Hector for leaving California? Yay! To San Antonio, Texas, want to start a new life and in good conservative states like Texas. I mean, I just love Texas. I love everything about it. I got here as fast as I could.
I'm never leaving, so
Yeah. Seriously, I would never want to leave.
Mhm.
So let's see. She hooked me up. Okay, bye. See you later. You are hurting a lot of people's feelings with this one. I know. It's just it's just we're living in Texas. Like, we have rights to speak up, and I just like educating people. I know. I mean, I'm sure you guys feel the same way, where when we educate clients and we talk about San Antonio, it's almost like they are informed. They go, okay, I definitely want to live on this side of San Antonio.
Mhm.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Lies. I'm not the builder, Joe. I'm just the guy that tells you where what's happening in the housing market. Yeah. Thanks for the suggestion. Yes. And yeah. Anything that you want to know about San Antonio, anything at all, drop it in the comments. We'll talk about it. Now I'm going to bring up what's been going on in our MLS. So there's obviously been a lot of changes. And the changes, some are good, some are not good. But it's definitely something that, people should know, because yes, the interest rates were 7% and now they're dropped to 5.5%.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to pull this up. Just give me a second. All right. All right. Joe says, what do you think of Century communities? What do you guys think?
I actually like them. I feel like it's, and Anthony Luna is gonna like laugh if he ever sees this, but it's like the affordable luxury is what they call it. So you have a lot of the custom, nicer upgrades than you would with other builders that would be entry level or mid level for sure.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Mia?
Yeah, I like Century. I've seen a lot of their builds, and I've seen a lot of builds. So,
yeah,
I mean, I can tell you the builds that my clients don't like, and they never.
Facts. Me too. Me too.
I mean, I haven't gotten any negative recoil from Century communities, so they're a thumb up in my book.
Same.
Yeah.
The thing with builders in that price point, Century builds from like 250 to 350, right?
Yep.
Is that kind of the gist?
Yep.
Yeah, and I've had a few clients with them. They're good, but something that everybody watching this should know is a lot of these builders, KB, Lennar, Century, Starlight, DR, they all use very, very similar subcontractors. So if you're looking for quality, that's where like inspections come in, and that's where you're like overseeing basically the entire process. Because the framing company that builds a DR home will go to a Century home. Then the next day they'll go to a Lennar home. So it's basically sharing these subcontracts. And then honestly, some of them are at the point where they don't even care. Like, okay, this is like the worst of the worst company. I'm just going to use you because I need something.
Yeah.
And it's been, there's been, because of the supply chain. I mean, it's a sad reality.
Yeah.
Like you said, I have lived here 34 years and have seen it all. I like you. I like you. So tell me what you've seen. Spill the beans on what's been happening, and what do you think? I want to know, you lived here 23 years in San Antonio. What do you think is going to happen to San Antonio? What kind of growth do you think that we'll see? Do you think it's going to tank? Is it going to crash? Please tell me. I would love to hear your thoughts. And interesting. I totally agree, man. It's very interesting. So, so what's been happening is very, very interesting to me, because you guys know I'm a super nerd with this. Look at November 7th. This is the lowest amount of homes that I've ever seen, probably in the 5 years I've been doing real estate here in San Antonio. Only 270 homes have been sold that week. Guys, how insane is that?
Yeah, that was nuts.
That is bonkers. But remember I said earlier in this live stream that San Antonio is a very diverse economy is you have military bases, you have huge employers, Boeing, you have Elon, I guess, coming in. You have all these major things. Look at the median house price. 330, 325, 320, 325.
Yeah.
It's awesome that our city is just basically keeping steady.
Yep.
But what we've seen, I'm going to put that interesting comment again, because that's the vibe right now. So you have 270 homes. I mean, apparently that's like somebody's version of it's crashing down. Then it came up to 408, back down to 257. But check this out. The latest in statistical sales in San Antonio, 509 homes sold. So the ones that got under contract in early November, late this October, at a 7%-ish interest rate, 509. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's coming back up. And if you want my secret predictions, I really think it's going to come back even more. I think we're going to see steady 400, 500, 600 homes sold a week in San Antonio.
Yep, absolutely.
Now here's even more super secret storm watch. Trey Serrano right here is active listings. You have almost 10,300 that are just literally sitting on the market, begging, please sell me, please buy me. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then October ticked up a little bit more, 10,390. And now 44 days on market. But what do you guys think that now that rates are down to 5.5%, you have better affordability, right? You have apparently job growth going up. What do you think is going to happen to the housing market in San Antonio?
I mean, I think we're going to start to, I think people had to just kind of accept like the rates are no longer going to be 2.5%, 3% like we're used to seeing. But I still think we're going to see like an influx of people still relocating to San Antonio.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. We've got the military PCSing in.
PCS season's like right around the corner. Yep.
We're kind of in that buffer. San Antonio has a buffer around us where, because we're so military affiliated, people are always going to be coming in here. So it's just a matter of, other relocations like job transfers and things that aren't military based where they're having to come here because they're, changing stations. But I think it's still where the growth is still there. People still want to come here. People still are coming to Texas and they're looking to escape, whatever they're in over there to come here. I mean, it's less expensive to live here. There's tons of open land, so that's where the mentality comes in of, hey, don't look at me, right? I came here for privacy, especially if you drive in the country. If you see purple spray in the country, don't walk across that property line. You will be shot. People don't know that.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's so Brant said, honestly, I think SA is growing nicely. It can get pricey, but not bad to other places like Austin or Dallas. Oh man, those two places give me a headache. The only thing they really need to fix is property taxes. You nailed it 100%. It is the property taxes are just horrible. It's crazy how much we pay in property taxes for just being, a known diverse, like median house price of 320 or so. I totally agree. So the number one, can you guys guess? Let me know in the comments. The number one influx of people are coming to San Antonio. Do you know the number one county that people are moving to San Antonio? You don't have to say the county. I don't expect you to know the county. But the major city in Texas that are moving to San Antonio, let me see if you guys can guess. This is according to, I believe it's U-Haul. It was in my video of foreigners making San Antonio crash. Check out that video if you want to know the answer, but I'm going to tell you the answer here. But where do you think the number one Texas city that people are moving to San Antonio? Oh, man. Okay, one person got it right away, and hopefully you got it from watching my channel. We'll get there in a second. Let me see some more guesses. there's a big hospital building by 1604 and Wiseman. Will that impact housing nearby? Alamo Ranch and trails at West Point. So I would say the trails at West Point, it's busy already commercially and with those developments. I'm not sure what they're going to name the hospital. I think I know what you're talking about. I don't really go too much on Alamo Ranch, but I mean, absolutely. The traffic is going to be even worse than it is. Oh my God. If you want to see traffic, go to Alamo Ranch. It's so bad.
Go down Culebra 1604 at like 5 p.m. and
oof.
Like that whole drive will take you like 1604 like to the very back of like Culebra where you're at Valley Ranch, Callison. That will literally take you like 30 minutes to get down. And you better hope no one like tries to beat a light because then there's a wreck or 2 or 3.
And yes, absolutely. So I don't think it'll affect necessarily the immediate neighborhoods around there because a lot of Alamo Ranch is actually military families working at Lackland.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I relocate a lot of military families who work Lackland or at the hospitals on 151, all the different hospitals there, and they all live in Alamo Ranch.
Yep.
And USA is another big employer there. Eric says, I'm supposed to close on my new house the 23rd. I don't know if it's a good time to buy or not. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's always a good time to buy. I don't think that there's ever a point to not buy, but I mean, you can always refinance whatever you have to do. But if your rate's not locked in and we're sitting at 5% right now, if you can lock it, then lock your rate at 5%.
Yep. So here's what some of our clients did. I'm going on record. I didn't tell you to do this. You may have representation. Who knows? I may or may not have told clients to make sure you're getting the best deal. Because if you are locked into an agreement with a new home contract and you go to the neighboring subdivision, you say, hey, what can you give me? And hopefully your agent, your realtor will do this for you. But if you don't have representation, then I would, if you decide on representing yourself, which I don't think is a good idea, ask them what's the best they can do. And we've had clients that say, you know what? I found a better deal next door. I'm out. Like I'll even risk my earnest money because they were getting, let's say, $15,000 at this subdivision, what they were under contract in. They went to the other one and they said, oh no, we'll give you $25,000. So they said, you know what? I'll lose the $2-3 grand of earnest money because I'm getting $10,000 more over here. Yeah. So it's just knowing what incentives and what you can get. I'm not telling you to cancel your contract. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just telling you what our clients have done before and what the outcome was.
I got to jet, guys. I have a meeting with a client on Zoom. So thanks for inviting me.
Do great things.
See you.
Ciao, Mina. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye, Mina.
Bye. Nice to meet y'all.
All right. And let's see. Thoughts on downtown development mirroring our city's economic developments. In your opinion, what can be done to change our trajectory? So I'm going to see if I can find this article, which I'm sure I can. But do you mean, let me see. T, do you mean that the new article that came out where they're taking the San Antonio Tower and turning it into affordable housing? Tower and... So let me know if that's what you mean. Because San Antonio has kind of been all over the place in the news lately. But let me just share this. And then, oops. Share screen. Here we go. So here, Bexar County greens light to plan convert iconic office tower into affordable housing. So this beautiful tower is going to be now affordable housing. And I think the median household income in the article is, I remember reading, I want to say like household income of like $50,000 or something like that. Yeah, here it is. which a family of 4 is about $66,000 a year. That's how much family income they would have to live here. But I know downtown's been through so many different changes, and it's just hard to say what they're going to do. But that's huge. I mean, that's going to really change. That tower was office buildings, and now it's definitely going to change.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
How do you guys feel about the tower light building in terms of what? There you go, Nick. Yeah. I just brought it up. Thank you for talking about it. I read that and I said, I mean, San Antonio does need affordable housing. For sure it needs it. But to have it immediately downtown, I just don't know if that was the best location,
Yeah.
I think there was a small pushback on price in SA due to interest rates over our economy. But since SA has solid job growth and handled 2008 well, it won't be complete fail here. No way. We're actually already seeing the numbers improve, and people have the buying confidence again. So I definitely think it's going to be fine. My job relocated in the Bay Area. Located in the Bay Area, buying 150 property near downtown. Is only possible in SA. Yeah, I mean, there's properties everywhere for 150.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
And I mean, there's other cities that have the $150,000 price range. I argue that it's just San Antonio is so diverse in its economics, its job growth. We have not only tourism, but you have 4 bases and you have these huge employers. So I think the diversity of your investment is going to be much better here. Not that I'm selling, but I'm selling. Strong castle doctrine. Nice. Yes, Nick, you nailed it. It's Travis County is the #1 county that's moving to San Antonio. Isn't that crazy?
Yep, that's wild.
So Austin people are leaving Austin to come to San Antonio. That is the #1 city in Texas that is influxing to San Antonio. So I just got to use the y'all thing. I don't say the y'all. But y'all were saying and hating on California, in the comments, it's always blowing up. Can't stay in California, this in California. But now it's Austin. Austin is the #1 influx of people moving to San Antonio.
Didn't Zillow release some kind of article not too long ago talking about the prices of homes or the values of homes in Austin decreasing tremendously from when the market was hot and now it's not, and people are they were obviously there was bidding wars and people were going 100,000 whatever over asking price, and now they're not going to see that return because that market is fluctuating drastically.
Right. So Austin was put into the same category as your LA, San Diego, New York, Miami, where these major, very, very expensive, very unique, crazy markets. And Austin basically said, dropped from, I think, median house price of $650 down to I don't know, I'm guessing here, but I would say around 500. If you watch Jeremy Knight's YouTube channel, he's my buddy. He will definitely, he talks about it all the time. So shout out to you, Jeremy. Yes, Nick, you were right. You saw my video. Thank you for that. But yes, it is Austin. Pays to be a vet when it comes to taxes. Hell yeah, brother. And thank you for your service and sacrifice.
Yep.
And hey, why no transit in San Antonio? No trains. So, Patricia, what do you think about the transportation in San Antonio?
I don't know. I mean, we have the VIA, we have the bus, but there could probably be a little bit more of an option. I feel it's just so spread out though. How are you going to do a transit and a train and all that? It's fairly large to put that in there, or put that here.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know I'm going to piss somebody off, but whatever. Let's see. So I'm going to share VIA on
their route is it's kind of weird. I looked it up a while back, a year ago, and I think they it was just a weird Like they go to Stone Oak. Like that's so weird. Like what? Okay.
Yeah. So Via built this ginormous
In
warehouse
Stone Oak, 281. Yeah,
in
yeah.
Stone Oak. Like, let me show you guys this location. Like this location, Stone Oak, our office is right here. That's my little blue dot. And this is just like country clubs, median house price, anywhere, what do you think? Like 500, 400,000.
Yep.
Definitely above the median house price here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
They built this warehouse to store vehicles, and they thought that people were going to park their cars and jump on the bus to go downtown. So it's basically a ghost town. And basically nobody uses it, at least that I know of. So
yeah, I mean, I've never really seen people use it. I think at one point I was like, are they just like parking buses there? Like, what are they doing with that? So
yeah.
So when I first moved over here, that I lived in that area. I lived in the Stone Oak area. So I remember seeing it and being like, okay, what is this? And still, even now to this day that I go to that area, I still don't ever really see anyone using it. So it's kind of a waste of space and money. So.
Yeah, I know Via has been in business with the city for, who knows how long, but I think that's what potentially Elon's companies see, is they see that there's issues with the transportation. And I think that's why he's pushing so much. That's just my thoughts. I don't know. So T said, are we really crashing in on Austin's growth and success if the jobs aren't coming along to SA with that? All these high-paying tech jobs are going straight up I-35. So it's interesting because on my previous video, I know I keep saying it, but I just talk about it all the time. I talked that San Antonio had the biggest tech boom since COVID than any other major city in the US, which is mind-blowing because we're such a blue-collar town. So the tech jobs, believe it or not, T, are coming to San Antonio. You have not only Rackspace, but there's other tech companies that are jumping on this little area here, which is around 281. There's like old storage facilities that they're making desks and really cool like co-working spaces for these tech companies. And also Boeing is over here. And it has, and also the Evo. Did you hear about that? It's what do they call it? Let's see. It's right near Boeing. So you have Port San Antonio that has Boeing, and then it also has the Port San Antonio. So this whole thing right here, you have aerospace.
Yep.
All this is different. Patricia, how much do you think the median house price is right here, right next to Boeing?
I mean, I'm gonna say like 180, 200.
I'm gonna say 140, 150.
150, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, who knows? Those neighborhoods may change. They may be gentrified and whatnot.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I worked at Boeing briefly when I first moved over here, and nope, it's a little too rough for me. So
yeah. So question, how do you do a bonus depreciation on a vehicle? 19 years old, I don't want to pay cash for a motorcycle if I'm missing opportunities with bonus depreciation. So I would say I don't want to give you the wrong advice. And, I'm glad that you're looking up this information. But, yeah, I just don't want to give you the wrong advice. We're more of like.
Reach out to HR, please.
Yeah. Yeah, we're more housing nerds than anything.
Yeah, for sure.
So then T says, in my opinion, our local government is doing us a disservice to shut down public transportation alternatives. I mean, I agree. We really need to take our opinions to take the wheels off the congestion on Elon's proposal. So yeah, Elon's proposal is definitely very, very controversial. Brand says people forget about Cyber Command here in SA and they need more tech contractors. Totally agree. It's growth a lot here. Not just big names like Samsung and Austin, but we are getting a ton of small tech growth, 100%. Again, I mentioned all the time in my YouTube videos. Great response on tech. Thanks. Definitely didn't hear about Evo. Yes. The DeLorean car company is right next to Boeing, right in that area you're looking at right now. That's the Port San Antonio. And DeLorean, like Back to the Future DeLorean. We're here in San Antonio. So that's awesome. Well, that wraps up the hour. If there's any other comments, shoot it on this. Appreciate everybody coming here. If you want to reach out to Patricia, check out her YouTube channel. Patricia, put it in the comments. Let people check it out. Of course, my channel is always dropping some knowledge to you guys. I'm so glad that this reporter called us out in the San Antonio Express News. Don't you worry. I'm going to pull up the article one more time just for this video. And good riddance to him. Here it is, just one more time. I just can't help myself in showing this craziness of real estate agents on YouTube have called San Antonio the worst city in the U.S. If you read the article, I literally never said that. But yes, I appreciate you. And I appreciate you. Videos are great. Thank you so much. I actually got another one dropping here soon. Be safe, you guys. Always reach out if you need anything. Appreciate you.
Bye.